Hello Aces, this is Ace Combat Fan speaking, and we're gonna go to the part 2 analysis of the second trailer of Ace Combat 7, which was again, it appeared at the 2016 PlayStation Experience. The first part of the analysis I did, it was on my live stream of the event, so I highly recommend you check out that first before we continue with this video. I'll be adding some more information that I actually didn't notice in the first time. You know, I was into that hype, and you saw my reaction, I guess. And yeah, that's for sure that I made some mistakes and gave some incorrect information maybe a little bit, and didn't notice some of the stuff which I'll be talking about today. And so there you go, the video is in the description. You can click on that link, watch that first before we continue on. I also downloaded the full HD video of the trailer, so we can analyze with some better picture, like the other time where I actually basically just saw the very first video of the trailer on YouTube. Then again, I just wanted to point out that it was really fun to be hosting that live stream. It was so fun, and I'll be planning on another one. I hope you guys enjoyed and had a good time. I look forward to keep doing that in the future. It was very fun. So let's go now with the trailer analysis part 2. But before we start, I would just like to point out there are two different trailer versions, which I call the international and the Japanese version. However, because the only difference between the two versions is really in the end of the trailer, I'll leave it at for later. So the first thing I want to talk about is this guy. As I mentioned him previously in the first video, he looks like a rich guy, but he might be rich, but he is a scientist working for the Russian Airspace company, EASA. And you can see him 3 times during the whole trailer in the first couple seconds. You can also see him working on the aircraft, as his computers are plugged into the aircraft by some cables. And really later on the trailer, where he's looking outside of the hangar in this scene where he's looking at some asteroids falling. So I guess he's gonna be one of the main guys that is involved with the UAV technology and how that is developing. The second thing I want to talk about is from the prisoner scene, and it's a very short scene, but I noticed something strange. Did you see it? Look at the prisoner, the female prisoner. She's actually not walking very well. It looks like one of her legs is broken, and I think that's a hint for what happened. I would assume that she was the astronaut from the first trailer, the announcement trailer, from the elevator scene. So I'm thinking that the way the astronaut fell, or that she fell, even though she had a parachute, otherwise she wouldn't have survived, she didn't fall in a good way, and she ended up breaking one of her legs. And that would explain why she was captured and what happened to her leg. My next point is this purple flash that appeared very briefly. Initially I thought it was some kind of weapon or laser or something like that, but I have confirmed that is actually lightning. So that is very good, very interesting. I think it shows a little bit of how the weather is gonna play out in the game. I think that's very nice, and I did that. I identified it with the help of a screenshot from the game that was on the internet. It kind of reminds me of the Hurricane mission in Ace Combat South Horizon, but it just looks much more exciting with lightning. Still talking about the weather, I think that is gonna play such a major role. You can see it's highly emphasized in the trailer. You see the cloud scene and the flyby scene over the city. You can see how there are these tiny water droplets on your cockpit, on your canopy. And you can see that it's so emphasized to the point where the very ending of the trailer, where they have the title Ace Combat 7, you can see how there are also some water droplets in there in the background. Continuing on with the weather, I think I heard somewhere on the internet that this game, Ace Combat 7, there's actually gonna be turbulence in the air. So I think that's a really major breakthrough, because all of the other games winds are calm or non-existent, and that's gonna bring some very interesting and more realistic gameplay. But I'm really excited on how the wind or the turbulence in the air is gonna play out, especially on a dogfight. Another interesting part of the trailer, it was this formation of 5 aircraft. It was just interesting that I didn't see any Air Force emblem or marking, so you can't really tell what country these planes belong to. So I'm not really sure if there was something Project Aces was planning when they showed, or they're just trying to show which some of the playable aircraft. Another thing I found out after the trailer was published, and I can't thank enough Rythus Omega, one of my friends. He managed to get the emblems of the Trigger Squadron and of the test plane from the trailer, so huge thanks to him. If you haven't done already, go and follow him on Twitter and get in touch with him, because he knows his stuff. He knows a lot about the graphics, especially Ace Combat. So on the left side we have the Trigger Squadron emblem, so probably our protagonist Squadron. It's a dog, or kind of a dog-like animal, a wolf. He's holding a gun and has kind of a scarf, orange scarf, which I kind of have a theory on why is that. I'll explain that in a later video though. And on the right side we have the emblem that's featured on the Erusian test plane. It kind of reminds me of the flag from Argentina and Uruguay because of that angry sun right there. And I wrongly confused that with the yellow squadron emblem in the first analysis, so my bad. The quality of the trailer wasn't that good, and there was too much hype at that moment. And now we come see the difference between the international and the Japanese versions of the trailer, as I call them. If you're watching the international version, you're just gonna see the title, Ace Combat 7, and that's pretty much it. If you go, however, on the Japanese version, it's a little bit extended. You see this guy pointing up, then you see another ending screen, and you see it's finally announced. The game is finally announced for 2017. So this was the second part of the trailer analysis. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope I haven't missed anything, but there are too many details I guess. And keep on following me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as well. I'll keep you posted, and a lot of exciting stuff to share with you guys. I still have to share a little bit on my theories about the games, but that is the video for today. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video.